Dear friends, before moving on to the story, please encourage me by subscribing, because I create these stories with a lot of effort just for you. So kindly subscribe to my channel. Thank you.
My fork pauses midair, a scoop of mashed sweet potatoes cooling as my father's words cut through the soft hum of our Thanksgiving meal. You're nothing but a freeloader. It's time you get out of this house. The sweet potatoes suddenly seem uninviting, almost alien. The dining room falls into a hush so deep I can hear the old clock ticking in the living room, the same one I paid to fix last month. I glance up, searching my mother's face for some hint of support, but Ellen keeps her eyes fixed on her untouched green beans, rearranging them on her plate. Across the table, my 16-year-old sister, Lily, stares wide-eyed at her half-empty water glass. What stings most is the timing. I spent all morning in the kitchen, roasting the turkey, mashing potatoes, and baking 2 pies while they lounged watching football. Just half an hour ago, I shared news of my raise at work. Now, as the aroma of the meal I cooked fills the air, my father declares me a burden. The irony isn't lost on me. My name is on the utility bills that keep these lights on, the water bill that filled these glasses, the grocery receipts for every bite on this table, and the insurance that covered my mother's doctor visit last week. Yet, somehow, I'm the dead weight. For months ago, when Mom got laid off from her bookkeeping job, I stepped up without a second thought. The bills stacked up faster than their excuses, and Dad's part-time gig at the hardware store barely covered the mortgage. I took on everything else: electricity, groceries, car insurance, even Mom's medical costs. Each month, more accounts shifted to my name, and Dad grew colder, more resentful. His signature, once the final word in this house, became irrelevant, his control slipping away. 3 weeks ago, I overheard him talking to our neighbor, Mr. Carter, through the open kitchen window. "It's not right," he grumbled, leaning on the fence. "A man losing his place in his own home. She acts like she runs everything now." I didn't realize he was talking about me until he said my name, Claire. Now Dad, Tom, glares at me, his jaw tight, waiting for me to cry or argue. When I just keep eating, his grip on his fork tightens, knuckles paling. The sweet potatoes taste bland, but I chew slowly, swallow, and take another bite. "Did you hear me?" His voice sharpens with frustration. "You're out by the end of the week." My hands shake, not from fear but from something deeper, a shift inside me. I set my fork down, fold my napkin, and meet his eyes. "I heard you," I say, my voice calm, almost detached. Those 3 words linger, not emotional or angry, but steady. Tom blinks, clearly caught off guard by my composure. The silence stretches until Mom finally speaks, not to back me up. "Claire," she says, her voice low and rushed. "You'll still cover my insurance for this month's appointment, right? I've got that checkup on Wednesday." And there it is, the truth in sharp focus. Not a daughter, just a bank account. Not family, just a resource. I stand, gathering my plate and Lily's empty glass. "Of course, Mom," I reply, my voice even despite the ache in my chest. "I'll handle it before I leave." As I head to the kitchen, my mind runs through everything in this house tied to my name. The Wi-Fi I upgraded for Lily's online classes, the new stove I bought when the old one broke in June, the utility accounts I took over when shut-off notices arrived. At the sink, I rinse my plate, scraping leftovers into the disposal. Through the window, I see my car in the driveway, the one thing I own outright, unconnected to this house. At least I'll have that when I go. Behind me, Lily's chair scrapes the floor as she brings her plate over. She sets it by the sink, avoiding my eyes, but her fingers graze my arm for a fleeting moment. It's the closest thing to comfort I've felt in months. At 1:42 a.m., the glow of my bedside clock lights up as I fold another shirt into my duffel bag. Sleep feels impossible with Tom's words still echoing. I've been packing for hours, my body on autopilot while my thoughts race. I reach for the financial papers in my desk drawer, insurance records, utility bills, grocery receipts, to sort what I need to take. But beneath them, I find a bank statement with Tom's name. Odd. I haven't seen paper statements in months. Everything went digital after Mom's layoff. I pull out one, then another, then a third. Statements for an account I didn't know existed, showing a balance that's been growing for 3 months while I've been draining my savings to keep the heat on. My hands tremble as I sit on the bed, staring at the numbers. $3,500 in June, $4,800 in July, nearly $6,500 now. Digging deeper, I find a Marina pamphlet with Tom's handwriting in the margins. Down payment for $1,000, circled in red. Delivery after Thanksgiving, underlined. A fishing boat. While I've been covering Mom's prescriptions and Lily's school supplies, he's been saving for a boat. There's more. A note with utility due dates, my name with question marks, and after bills paid, underlined twice. They've been planning this for weeks, waiting until I paid November's bills before pushing me out. A soft knock breaks my thoughts. Lily slips inside, her eyes wide as she takes in the packed boxes and bags. "You're really going?" she asks, lingering by the door like she's ready to bolt. I sit amid proof of my family's betrayal, while Lily stands with one hand on the knob. The power dynamic isn't lost on me. Her ability to walk away, my forced exit. "Dad didn't leave me much choice," I say, tucking the statements into my bag. Lily bites her lip. "Mom said they need your room for storage now that Dad's getting that boat." The casual admission hits like a punch. "Boat? The one he put a deposit on last month." Lily's voice drops. "I overheard them planning this a month ago. They said they'd wait until you paid November's bills." "You knew?" The betrayal spreads, touching even Lily. Her eyes well up. "I was too scared to tell you. Dad said anyone who tipped you off would be next." I want to be mad, but the fear in her face is real. She's still a kid in the same toxic house I'm escaping. "There's more," she says, glancing at the hallway. "Those doctor visits Mom's been having? The ones you've been paying for? What about them?" "Last week, she came back with her face all swollen. She told Dad the doctor said no drinking through straws for a few days." Lily mimics Mom's eye roll. "It wasn't a checkup, Claire. It was Botox." The room tilts. I've been skipping meals to save money while Mom gets cosmetic treatments on my insurance. I open my banking app and show Lily my balance. $682.17. For months ago, I had $8,000 saved. "This is what's left after keeping this house running," I say. "One more month, and I'd be broke." Lily's eyes widen. "Dad said if you try to take any furniture, he'll call the cops for theft. Even the stuff you paid for." Of course he did. I glance at the desk I bought for remote work, the lamp I got with my first bonus, the curtains I picked out. "He also called the bank to get your name off the utilities," Lily adds. The urgency hits me. I need to find a place to live, secure my finances, and untangle myself from their accounts before they do more damage. I pull a box from under my bed, filled with receipts for everything I've bought for the house. The desk, the stove, Lily's tablet, the dining room rug, even utility bills with my name as the account holder. Proof I've been carrying this family while they schemed. Lily watches me sort the receipts, her face unreadable. "Claire?" she says finally. "Yeah? What would you do if you were me? Stuck between doing what's right and keeping the peace in the only home you've got?" As I organize the receipts in the dead of night, I face my own choice. Confront my parents with proof of their manipulation or leave quietly and let them face the fallout. Confronting them might feel just, but slipping away avoids a messy fight. What do you do when the people who should care most only value what you give them? I look at Lily, trapped in the same toxic world I'm leaving, and realize I don't have an easy answer for either of us. 5 days later, during a break at my part-time retail job, my Aunt Linda's voice crackles through my phone, sharp and accusing. "Honestly, Claire, I never thought you'd ditch your family when they needed you most." My grip tightens on the phone. 5 days since Thanksgiving, and Tom's already spun his story for the relatives. "Did he mention he threw me out?" I ask, keeping my tone even. "He said you stormed off after a small argument," Linda says, her voice thick with judgment. "They're holding a family meeting at my place this weekend to talk about your behavior." Of course they are, a stage for their version of events. "I'm sure they are," I say, and hang up before she can reply. After my shift, I collapse onto the fold-out couch at my friend Jess's apartment, my temporary home. My life is packed into 5 boxes and 3 bags stacked against the wall. Everything else is in my car, 26 years condensed into what I could grab in a frantic hour while my parents were at the store. My phone buzzes with a text from a cousin who's heard I've crushed Mom's spirit. I ignore it. The constant pings have become a new kind of stress, each one spiking my pulse, wondering which family member will attack next. When Jess gets home from her nursing shift, she finds me on the floor, surrounded by papers. "Operation Independence going well?" she asks, tossing her keys on the counter. "Almost there," I say, tapping a notebook filled with account numbers. I've canceled autopay for their utilities, removed myself from their phone plan, and notified the cable company to take my name off their account. I don't mention how the utility rep chuckled when I said I was voluntarily dropping responsibility for my parents' bills. Good, Jess says, sitting beside me. Let them sort out their own chaos. The weight of starting over presses down. My savings are so low they'd make a banker flinch. For months of covering their expenses has left me with barely enough for a deposit on an apartment, let alone rent. You sure your roommate's okay with me staying here? I ask. Sam? He's fine with it, Jess says. The door swings open, and Sam walks in with his massive lab, Cooper, bounding ahead. Claire. Sam grins. Meet the world's lousiest counselor, but he's cheap if you've got treats. He tosses a frisbee across the room, and Cooper chases it, all clumsy paws and wagging tail. The dog drops the soggy frisbee in my lap, looking expectant. He thinks you need this more than he does, Sam says, deadpan despite the absurdity. Sometimes the best therapy has fur and smells like kibble. When Cooper nudges my hand, I laugh for the first time in days, the sound startling me. A week later, I'm at Jess's kitchen table, scrolling through job listings for something with better pay. My current gig covers basics, but not the safety net I need to rebuild. My phone lights up with Mom's name. I almost let it go to voicemail, but curiosity wins. What did you do? Ellen's voice is shrill, panicked. The lights are off, the Wi-Fi's gone, and my insurance was rejected at the doctor's. I take a deep breath, feeling oddly calm. I stop paying for things that aren't my responsibility. But you can't leave us like this. We're your family. The desperation in her voice might have swayed me once, but now I hear the manipulation. Family doesn't call you a freeloader at dinner. I say, my voice steady. Your father didn't mean it, she says, her tone softening. You know how he is. I do. That's why I'm done. I hang up and set my phone down like it might bite. That night, Jess peers over my shoulder as I reset passwords for my email and bank accounts. Got some weird login attempts here, she says, pointing to security alerts. We should set up fraud alerts. The contrast hits me. Jess asks before borrowing a pen, while my family felt entitled to my entire income. Good call, I say. Thanks. Later, I browse apartment listings in my price range, small studios, but they're mine, places where no one can say I don't belong. I don't ask anyone's opinion on neighborhoods or worry about hosting family dinners. The choices are mine. The next day, I open a new account at a credit union, transferring every cent from my old account, the one my parents know about. My phone pings with a text from Lily. Mom's looking for your bank info. Says she needs to check something. Don't trust her. As I read it, my phone lights up with notifications. 5 missed calls from home in the last hour. An email pops up. Fraud alert. Password reset attempt on your banking app. Anger surges. They're not just guilting me. They're trying to take what's left of my money. The next day, the bank rep's concern feels oddly reassuring. Ms. Harper, we've blocked 4 password reset attempts from your parents' address in the last 24 hours. I pace Jess's spare room, my temporary refuge. They can't get in, right? Absolutely not, she says. Your account's locked down. Changes require in-person ID verification. I exhale, thanking her and adding her name to my growing notebook of evidence. Calls to other companies yield similar results. Credit cards secured, utilities officially out of my name, insurance protected with extra steps. The cable rep sounded almost admiring. Smart move. Your mom tried to restart service in your name yesterday without permission. Each call builds a barrier between my old life and the one I'm creating. Not a wall of rage, though that's there, but of safety, solid, necessary, and mine. Jess hands me a mug of chamomile tea. Thought you'd need this after all those calls. I take it, grateful for the warmth. Done, I say. No one can touch my accounts now. Jess nods. How's it feel? Before I can answer, a loud pounding shakes the apartment door. Claire. Tom's voice roars. Open this door now. Jess signals for me to stay back, but I'm already moving. This showdown's been coming since I left. The pounding grows louder, each hit rattling the frame. Through the peephole, I see Tom's face, red and furious. The same look he's given debt collectors, and now me. I know you're in there. You think you can ruin our lives and walk away? A door opens across the hall. Mrs. Larson, a retiree who brought Jess brownies when she moved in, peers out. Her eyes widen at Tom's shouting. Sir, she calls, voice shaky but firm. I've called security. Tom spins toward her. Stay out of this. It's between me and my daughter. Your noise is everyone's problem. She snaps, clutching her sweater. Tom turns back, his voice low and menacing. Claire, open this door, or I'll. His threat cuts off as he kicks the door, splintering the wood near the lock. Mrs. Larson gasps and ducks back inside. My hands shake as I dial 911, whispering to the dispatcher while Tom keeps pounding. The elevator dings, and heavy footsteps approach. Sir, step away from the door, a security guard barks. This is my daughter's place. Tom shouts. I have a right. You have no right to damage property or disturb tenants, the guard says. Police are on the way. Sirens wail outside. Minutes later, I watch through the peephole as officers lead Tom away in handcuffs, still yelling that I'm the one tearing the family apart. Officer Daniels takes my statement, and I explain the financial manipulation, the hacking attempts, and today's outburst with the same calm I've used in my notebook. Would you like to press charges for the attempted break-in? He asks. Jess, back from talking to the building manager about the door, nods slightly. Yes, I say, my voice steady. And I want a restraining order. As the police car drives off with Tom, I wonder, was pressing charges too harsh for years of deceit? Or was it the only way to protect myself? Jess rests a hand on my shoulder. Sam's picking up security cameras for the door. We'll install them tonight. I nod, thankful for support that asks for nothing. My phone buzzes with a text from Lily. Mom took your tablet and camera. Said their payment for what you owe. Pawn shop on 5th. I show Jess, anger flaring. Those were worth $1,800. Got receipts? Serial numbers? I nod, thinking of my meticulous records. Everything. An hour later, Officer Patel takes my theft report, reviewing my receipts and noting serial numbers. Pawning someone else's property is a crime, she says, her tone kind but firm. We'll get your items back from the pawn shop. The system, once stacked against me, now works for me, a shift that feels dizzying. That night, my phone lights up with voicemails from relatives. Aunt Karen's is first. Claire, I'm so sorry about Tom's arrest. We didn't know it was this bad. The neighbors who saw Tom's outburst have spread the word, cracking the story my parents tried to sell. The truth is leaking out. As I help Sam install the camera above Jess's door, a text from Mom arrives. Had to pawn your tablet and camera to cover the power bill you stuck us with. 5th Street pawn. You owe me $250 plus interest. I show Jess, who shakes her head. The nerve is almost admirable, she mutters. I save the text as evidence, my anger not at her boldness, but at how long I believed I deserved this. For days later, Mom calls, her voice shaky. Claire, let's make a deal. Drop the theft report, and you can come home. Your room's just as you left it. The rehearsed tone is obvious. I imagine Tom coaching her. Also, we're worried about your mental state. Our family would understand that better than your accusations. The threat is clear. Drop the charges or be called unstable. I take a breath. I have records of every bill I've paid for 6 months, I say. Bank transfers to your account. Texts about your cosmetic treatments you passed off as medical. Want me to show those in court? Her silence speaks volumes. The next day, Officer Patel escorts me to my parents' house. Her cruiser in the driveway draws neighbors' eyes. Mom answers, her smile fading when she sees the officer. Mrs. Harper, Patel says, I'm here while Claire collects her belongings. The house feels smaller, less familiar. Mom lingers as I pack my room, Patel behind me. I hand the officer a folder of my financial contributions, bills, receipts, the stove I bought. Patel's eyebrows lift. You covered all this? Since Mom lost her job, yes. Mom hovers in the doorway. That furniture's family property, Claire. You can't take it. I hold up my receipts. I have proof for everything I'm taking. Want to see? Patel glances at Mom, then back at the folder. These show Claire's been supporting this household alone, she says. Mom retreats without a word. I pack my books, clothes, and items undeniably mine. Neighbors watch from their yards, no longer pretending to garden. Let them see the truth. As I lock the front door for the last time, I hear an engine. My second car, the one I left at Jess's, pulls into the driveway, Tom at the wheel. My stomach sinks. The spare key I gave them for emergencies. He steps out, dangling my keys with a smirk. We need to talk about what you owe us before you take this, he says, nodding at the car. I pull out a folder from my bag. This is the title and registration, both in my name, I say. Patel steps forward. That vehicle belongs to Claire. Hand over the keys. Tom's face pales as he looks from the papers to the officer. His grip tightens. I paid for her college, her car repairs. The keys, Mr. Harper, Patel says, hand outstretched. Slowly, Tom releases them. They jingle as Patel hands them to me. For the first time, I see him shrink. The man who ruled our family reduced. If you come near me or my things again, I say, I'll get that restraining order. I slide into my car, adjust the seat, and start the engine. In the rear view, neighbors watch, witnesses to the end of our family's charade. Mrs. Carter from next door stands on her porch, phone out, spreading the story. Lily appears in the doorway, 1 foot inside, one hand raised in a hesitant wave. Her face holds grief and maybe awe, the strength she hasn't yet claimed. 3 blocks away, my phone buzzes with Lily's text. They're blaming me now. What do I do? At a red light, I stare at the message, watching her typing dots appear, then vanish. My sister, the only innocent one, now faces the manipulation I escaped. The light turns green, but I stay still, horns blaring as I weigh what's next. Sunlight filters through sheer curtains I picked out, dancing across the wood floors of my new apartment. For months since I drove away from my parents' house with Patel's card in my purse. The change still surprises me. I trace the edge of my desk, where bills are neatly arranged. Power, water, internet, renter's insurance. All mine, all manageable. No one else's crises hide among them. My bank account grows slowly but surely. The emergency fund I lost to my family is climbing back. 3 months savings so far, aiming for 6. The peace of making choices without justifying them feels like a gift. Last week, I painted my bedroom wall navy blue. No one's opinion needed. The freedom in small decisions feels huge. I sip coffee, scrolling through job listings for something full-time, when my phone buzzes. Lily. I answer, bracing myself. They're selling the house, she says, her voice small. They can't afford it without you. Mom's begging me to chip in, but I'm only 16. What do I do? I pause, the weight of her question heavy. You focus on school and saving for your future, I say. Don't let them pull you into their mess. I'll help you figure out your next steps, maybe a part-time job, a plan for when you're 18. For now, keep your head down and stay safe. Thanks, Claire, she whispers. I'm proud of you, you know. The words hit harder than I expect. I'm here for you, I say, and mean it. As I hang up, I glance at my apartment, small, but mine. The walls, the bills, the choices, they're all mine. And for the first time, that feels like enough.